Hey guys, it's me again, and today we're going to be looking at yet another top 10. And because it's September and school's starting again, I want to look at my top 10 high school anime. As we all know, high school is a very common setting for anime, but I want to look not only at series that play somewhere in high school or have characters who are in high school, because that's almost any of them. I want to look at series that actually do something with the high school setting, so it's just people in class or something. And not all of these are going to be slice of life because I like them to have something more than that, but they're all going to have something to do with high school. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So at number 10, we have the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. It's basically about a guy that's in high school who meets this girl, Haruhi Suzumiya, who is not interested in normal persons, but only in like aliens and stuff like that, like weird stuff. And he kind of gets involved with this girl and the crazy things that she goes through because he kind of attracts these weird kind of people without really knowing about it. And it's quite interesting and it's quite a fun series. The reason that it's so low on the list is that even though it can be quite fun at times, many episodes are quite fun, there are also a lot of just really boring episodes, especially in the second season. And that's kind of made up for by the film The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, because I thought it was amazing, it was great, but still, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's really good, and sometimes it's just really boring. But it has something to do with high school, and it's sort of interesting that you can see these weird sort of characters. And yeah, sometimes it's just a lot of fun. So Haruhi Suzumiya at number 10. At number 9, we have Kamigami no Asobi. Kamigami no Asobi was a quite interesting anime. It was basically a reverse harem where there's just one girl in a school full of a bunch of guys, and yeah, it's just a lot of romance is involved, and well, it was quite good. But what I really liked about it is that it not only just plays in school, but it also has something to do with learning, because the premise kind of was that these gods weren't evolved with humans enough and they didn't know enough about them, and they kind of had to learn how human society was. So they were sent to this school with this human girl to basically learn that, to learn how to go along with humans and be better gods. And it was just kind of funny. Like, it was a kind of funny premise. And yeah, I just really enjoyed that. It was a good series. So yeah, that's why it's here at number 9. At number 8, we have Hibiki Euphonium. And Hibiki Euphonium is basically about, well, the school band. The main character is a person who plays an instrument, the euphonium, and wants to join the school band in high school. And so she does. And basically, it's just a slice of life about the things that happen in the school band, how they prepare for events and how they practice and all that sort of stuff. And it's just really interesting to see that. I myself have never been in a school band, so I have no idea if this is accurate at all, but I've thought it was really interesting to see all of that happening. And it's also fun that they just make an interesting series about something that's quite normal. Unlike the previous two, which had some supernatural elements and to make things interesting, this is just a series about their normal life and how they go about that. I really enjoyed that, seeing something that I hadn't really experienced before, and just a school setting in its purest form, maybe. Just people in school. So yeah, that was really fun, and that's why I put it at number 8, Yubiki Euphonium. At number 7, we have Gekkan Shoujo no Sukikun. And much like the previous one, Gekkan Shoujo no Sukikun is just a series about normal people who are in high school. But I liked it a lot more than Yubiki Euphonium because it's just so funny. It's just a really fun series. It's basically about the main character, no Sukikun from the title, who is a shoujo manga artist. Basically, the main girl meets him, she falls in love with him, and starts helping him with his manga. And it's just really fun. And much like Hibiki Euphonium, it's just fun without adding all of these weird supernatural elements to it. It's just normal people, very wacky people, but it's just normal people in a high school having fun. And that's what I like so much. So yeah, that's why it's here at number 7, Gekkan Shoujo no Sukikun. At number 6, we have a very recent anime that I enjoyed a whole lot, and it's Boku no Hero Academia? I'm just gonna call it Academy. Boku no Hero Academy is a series set in a world where a lot of people just have superpowers. It's just a really casual thing to have superpowers, except for a main character who obviously does not have any superpowers. And the Digital Academy is a high school for people with superpowers and to learn how to use their superpowers and use it to, fight the baddies. And that's a really interesting setting, and the plot of this main character trying his hardest to get into this high school, even though he doesn't actually have any superpowers. It's just really interesting to watch, and the whole cast is just They're all so cute. It's amazing. It's a really great series. And I put it here because I really enjoyed it and I really enjoyed the setting, but because it feels like it's just kind of started. It hasn't, the first season has ended and it really hasn't done that much. Even though it was fun, I have the feeling that the story hasn't really got going yet. So yeah, that's why I put him here at number 6. Boku no Hero Academy. At number 5, we have Assassination Classroom. And the reason that I put Assassination Classroom over here is because just like Boku no Hero Academia, it has a very interesting premise because it's basically exactly what it says on the title. It's a classroom where the teacher is a sort of alien monster-like thing who threatens to destroy the Earth, unless he can be killed by his pupils in the next year or so. That's the premise. You have this classroom full of assassins. Well, they're just children, but they're trained to be assassins. And their job is to kill their teacher. That's the premise. And I found that very interesting. I felt kind of bad to put this above Boku no Hero Academy, but the reason that I did that is because where Boku no Hero Academy feels like it hasn't really gotten started yet, as I said, and the school part up until now hasn't been that big there. It was, about getting into the school, but the school itself, they really just got started yet. Assassination Classroom is completely finished. It's got the first and second season, and it's just the entirety of the show. So you've got a kind of closure, and I really like closure. But it's also a lot more. Where Boku no Hero Academy was just about learning, how to use their powers. This one is really about learning their specific traits through their assassination. He goes about, their teacher is a very good teacher, and he goes about it in a very weird way, but it really works. And it's got some really heartfelt moments. So yeah, that's why I put Assassination Classroom at number 5. At number 4, we have Coco Connect. And now we're getting back into the school settings that have something actually to do with high school. Although this one still was a little bit, okay. But it's basically about just a group of friends who are in a school club together. And basically their school club just lets them slack off and not do that much. And they just hang around with each other because that's just what they do. Until one day, something weird happens and they suddenly start like switching bodies. And this leads to some very weird stuff. Although a lot of it plays in school, it's not really about them having school, though a lot of shit happens there. So I put this on this list because I really liked it. But it's more about their life as friends in school. And you really notice that their friendship is just kind of at school because, they know each other. And you think they are very close friends, but because of this switching, they learn a lot of stuff about each other that they didn't know before, and they become a lot closer thanks to it. And I found that maybe because even though the high school itself might not be important in this one, it's really about this group of friends in high school. And I just really connected with that kind of story about how they got to know each other better through this really supernatural weird shit that is never totally explained. But yeah, I just really liked it. So that's why I put it here at number 4, Coco Connect. At number 3, we have Yoka, which, very much like Coco Connect, is just simply about a group of friends that are in high school. And the main character feels sort of gray, as he says it. He just wants to have a boring high school life. But then he meets this girl, and this girl is like super curious about everything. And if there's a mystery, she can't let it be unsolved. And the main guy, even though he wants to be a normal person, has this really great deductive skills. And he basically gets involved with her and his other friend into mystery that she wants him to solve because she herself isn't that good at it, but he is. And that's just really interesting. It also got, just like Coco Connect, it's also got this friendship relation that's really interesting and I really liked. But it's also just about a couple of friends in high school, and a lot of mysteries have to do with their high school that just try to solve mysteries. As I said, it's basically a detective high school slash life combination thing, and I just really liked it. It's just a really good series, and I really recommend to watch it, especially if you like slice of life. That's something more, but it's still very much a slice of life. So yeah, at number 3, Yoka. At number 2, we have Ouran High School Host Club. And Ouran High School Host Club is a very funny anime. It's so much fun. I really liked it. It's basically about this girl who goes to a very fancy high school on basically a scholarship or something. And most of the other people on that school are kind of rich kids living the posh life. And she suddenly stumbles upon a room where the host club is located, and she accidentally breaks something and she has to pay that back. And to pay that back, she becomes part of the host club. So she basically cross-dresses as a guy to become part of this host club and just entertain females, basically. And yeah, it's just a really, really, really funny series. It's got great characters. You know, the story itself, it doesn't feel like there's that much of a story, but towards the ending, it just becomes absolutely great. I loved it so, so, so much. And I kind of feel bad about not putting this on number one, but the reason for that is that even though it's definitely on high school, there's a lot to do with high school, it doesn't have anything to do with classes. I don't think we ever actually see them have any classes. But nevertheless, it's a great series. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, I really recommend that you watch this. And it's just a really good high school anime. So yeah, that's why it's here at number two. And at number one, we have my favorite high school anime, and it's Silver Spoon. I have only recently started watching Silver Spoon, and I have to admit, I haven't even watched the second season yet, which according to my analyst is even better than the first season. But I loved Silver Spoon so much because it's premise about this guy who comes from, from the city, he's like just totally a city boy, and he basically goes to like an agricultural school, and he has to learn to adapt to like basically the farmer life, which he isn't used to at all. But he basically wanted to get away from the city, and it's just so interesting watching him struggle with that. But it's also just really, really fun to watch him learn with this and see him interact with all these other people and to see this weird kind of relationship that these characters have, because most of them, they're in some kind of family who is like in the cow business or the horse business, and so interesting to watch them see struggle with that, with like kind of the legacy thing. And it's just a really funny show. It's a really interesting show to watch, and it has everything to do with high school. It doesn't do anything supernatural or something like that. It's just a kind of interesting high school, but it's still very realistic that this boy comes to, and everything is just interesting and fun, and it's just really good. And I'm just really excited to watch the second season and watch it become even better. But until then, I just really enjoyed the series, and that's why I put it here as my top high school anime, Silver Spoon, at number one. So yeah, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed watching my top 10 high school anime. I really enjoyed making it. If you have your own top 10 ideas or your own favorite high school anime, please put them down in the comments below. I'd love to read them. If you want to watch my previous top 10, you can click here on the left. And if you want to watch another video here on Waffles with Nerds, you can click here on the right to go to our latest CMV recommendation, which is also a lot of fun to watch. So yeah, that's it for me. I'll see you guys next time with another top 10 or some other video. Later!